So I'm presenting works, my most recent works that are relative to Tennessee. Before I jump in, I want to just give you some context. So I have a lot of backstory and history with Nashville. It's my second home. But on my first trip, I was exposed to this violating image of Nathan Bedford Forrest. This statue is on private property just off of Interstate 65. So Nathan Bedford Forrest was a slave trader and the first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. So it's, coming into the South with an objective view of this image is pretty violating, and it's visual terrorism pretty much. So unfortunately, the statue is on private property, and the city has tried to block it, but it was overturned by the state. It's been vandalized multiple times, but repaired each time by the owner. So this statue sends a fear-based, dark, and cowardly message. And as a sculptor, I often look to the facts of our physical world that, when applied, provide answers to our broken human conditions. So I was determined to create a permanent piece in opposition, a piece that sends the message of love, light, color, intelligence, and positivity. So with this, and in commission with the packing plant, led to my sculpture, Bending Normal, and breaking white light into the color spectrum. So this is the sculpture, Bending Normal. So I feel that a lot of hate is based on the fear of change, and Bending Normal is an ever-changing piece. It's installed in accordance to the seasonal sun patterns. This is just an installation shot. Crazy enough, as I was installing this with Dustin and channel to channel visible, the riots happened in Charlottesville, North Carolina, which really even hit me even harder as I'm installing this piece that was about this grotesque statue. Was just a really clear and really visceral moment in time, and just how dangerous these statues can actually be. But this is an installation shot. So as we can see here, as the sun and the viewer move around the sculpture, they're offered a new perspective, color, refraction, and a new reflection of the world around them. So this photo was taken around noon, and we start to see a colorful geometric shape appear at the bottom. This is a couple hours later, and it's slightly overcast. This is just to show the drastic shift in color that it provides. Yeah, and then this was taken a few hours after the previous one, and we see that the geometric shape from the bottom is actually split into a direct green reflection and a red refraction. So with this with the green reflection we see here, as the sun sets in the sky, the reflection actually travels and reaches really far into the neighborhood and into the neighboring institutions, as a way of sending its message and not being ignored. And this was all sun mapped and placed in accordance. So, also too, there were some concerns about traffic and blinding people and, just trying not to be a nuisance, but at the same time getting the message out there. So this is the actual reflection a couple of blocks down. This was sent to me from Lane York. He's the director of Zeitgeist Gallery. And this is the reflection entering the gallery. This photo was sent to me from an associate at Zeitlin architecture firm. The woman is also a songwriter. So it was very flattering. It was my biggest compliment. She wrote a song based on Bending Normal's reflection that traveled throughout the firm's interior, titled Dancing in the Light. So that's Bending Normal. This is the piece fully installed, and we see the drastic difference in color shift. Now it's a deep, deep red. This is just some more installation shots showing the color shift. I think that's me and John Sewell, owner of the packing plant, in the back. And then another installation shot. And then this is it in the winter, in the snow. So I struggled with an undiagnosed severe emotional disorder for over a decade, which led to my incarceration. During a manic breakdown, I was placed into solitary confinement in a cell very close to this. Pretty close. We didn't have shelves there. So this is a sculpture titled Special Housing Unit, or SHU for short. So SHU is based on a vision that carried me throughout my incarceration. I imagined an internal star-like light source that exceeded my confinement and was in direct conversation with the sun and the external world. This constant vision provided light, hope, strength, and perseverance during my imprisonment. So starting with the starlight image, I designed the SHU from the inside out, allowing its internal environment to determine its physical exterior shape. So we can, if you look on the bottom, kind of mid-bottom, we see the star shape. And that determined its physical exterior shape at that point. And so this is a frontal view of the SHU. Here we see its internal world conversing with its external environment. Here we see the sides of the SHU's two triangular pieces. I reference to them as tiers or cell blocks. The SHU is also an ever-changing piece installed in accordance to the sun, whereas bending normal is an extroverted piece. Special housing unit is an introverted one. You can see that shadow on the right-hand side. It's my favorite shadow that appeared. It was a nice surprise. That's from a tree branch. So again, taken 30 minutes later, we can see the manic color shift in both the tiers. So the next few photos, I'm just going to walk around the piece. So this is the back. And then this is my favorite photo. It's significant because it's my reflection. My reflection is inside a physical manifestation of the image that carried me throughout my incarceration. So this photo to me is extremely personal. It's definite proof of life after the whole ordeal. This is my piece, Broken Windows, fragments 1 and 2. Which is a recreation of a visceral childhood memory. Growing up, I dealt with a lot of displacement. When I was around 7 years old, we moved into another new apartment where the windows were all painted over from the inside. And I remember sitting behind my mother, who was scraping the paint off the window with a spackle knife. And I remember sitting there and a beam of light hitting my face as she scraped away at the window. And I remember just being in complete awe at that moment of my mother, just the fact that she was able to bring the sun in as a gift, specifically for me. So this piece mimics the arbitrary scrapings of a spackle knife. And so the world is big when you're 7, and I wanted to speak to the child and the viewer. So I scaled the piece at 14 feet and hung it so the viewer's reflection was physically childlike. This is a photo of my niece Valen. She's playing the role of 7-year-old me. She's very cute. And this is a side profile that Dustin took. So that leads me to my installation here at the YCC. So I'm from Queens, and for years I've been seeing dumpsters like this one, full of building material for big budget corporate events, fashion shoots, and film sets. It's a constant reminder of our society's value system. So for my installation at YCC this year gave me the opportunity to utilize and display this corporate throwaway material in a different light. So my installation is titled "A Kite to Caesar." Kite is a prison reference. To fly a kite is to pass a message from one inmate to another. And Caesar is a reference to the American superstructure we live in. I'm just going to show this. I only have shots of it in my studio before it was shipped to be here for the art fair. So this is a studio shot of its crate, which is on display as well. So I refer to the crate as its envelope, kind of. And let's see. This is just me having fun. This orientation is a Black Flag reference, which is a seminal punk band I grew up listening to. And then this is the orientation that that's here on display. I refer to this as the kite. It's a studio shot of my buddy playing around, and that's it. So once again I want to thank Whitney. She did an amazing job. I really want to thank all of you for being here, and that's it. Thank you.